Hey guys, Juju Green here with another installment of Juju Reviews.
I'm Emilio from Random Roomie Reviews.
Hi, I'm John Smith. And I am Donnie, also from Roomie Reviews.
And today we are going to be talking about Captain America Civil War. Now, just so you know, this is a spoiler-heavy review, so if you haven't seen the movie, what the hell are you doing here? What the hell are you doing here? Just like click away right now. You shouldn't even be watching this. Go to the theater, watch it right now, come back, and we'll play this for you.
Yeah.
Push that button right there. All right, so guys, I mean, I think it's safe to say that we definitely love the movie, right?
Very good.
Great-ass movie, right?
I sat 2 seats down from Juju, and every scene we looked at each other.
And like it's super excitement, just like,
man, I've never seen so many smiles in one person for 2 hours. Like it was beautiful.
That was me. So I've seen it twice. Seen the movie twice by now. Neil, how many times have you seen it?
I've seen it twice.
Twice.
2 completely separate occasions.
3 times on this guy here.
2 times for me.
Yeah, so we basically
So
know what
many,
we're talking about. So if we're wrong about something, leave an angry comment below or a good comment, whatever. But yeah, so that's a total of
9 times.
16 walls. Wait, that's the wrong franchise.
That's
The movie is great, but it has a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. Do you think it should be lower or a little bit higher?
I think 90 is about right.
90 is about right?
I think it's just
90 is
there.
good.
I think
90 is about right. I know exactly the 10% that they missed out on, and I'm okay with dropping that 10%.
Okay.
Like,
I would give it a good 92.
I was thinking 92 as well, like that exact number.
I was like, I don't know why. 92 just sounds right to me.
Just the respect factor of the movie like deserves that extra 2%. Like,
oh yeah, definitely.
They did such a great job. You think with it being a third Captain America movie, you would think, oh, they're not going to give out enough screen time. This character's not going to get this much development. Everyone was so well done.
That was like the scariest thing about this movie is like, we've seen movies like this fail before, like Amazing Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3, even Batman vs. Superman, even though they only had to juggle 3 main characters in the DC lore.
And they still fucked it up.
It's a civil war, okay? That's not.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We love DC too. We love DC. We just had to take a shot at that.
which is, I think the love for DC, like even as a main Marvel fan, the love for DC that I have isn't a lot, but that explains a lot of my disappointment because I know it could be better.
It could have been
As
a
a
lot
DC
better.
hater, I would have been happy that that movie bombed.
All I'm saying,
But
I love
I'm not happy about
DC,
it.
but the little Kimmel skit that he did was way better.
Yo, I will watch the Kimmel skit for 2
Oh
and a
god,
half hours.
that was, I want to movie.
I will watch the 2.5 hour skit of that. That would be great. Okay, but so
Superman, it's right here.
I think that's what made the movie work is that they took pretty much all these characters. About 12 characters were in this fight alone. About 12 characters in that hangar fight, and the way that they were able to balance it and get all the action in one shot is what made it that much more impressive. I mean, the fact that you had Spider-Man in there swinging, you had Ant-Man growing huge, you had Captain America facing off against Black fucking Panther. How good was that guy?
Let's just go over the fact that the 3 characters you just named, Spider-Man, Ant-Man, and Black Panther, stole the show.
Oh yeah,
Easily.
Yeah.
So
All that scene, all the highlight fight scene of the entire movie.
The airport.
The airport fight scene.
They took it all.
We won't get a scene like that until Infinity Wars.
Probably not. Probably
But
not.
we will get that witty banter from Spider-Man in Homecoming because that was beautiful.
Oh, dude, how great was Spider-Man? Wasn't that like the most perfect representation of Spider-Man that you've ever seen?
There's a couple lines where I was like, oh, he could push this joke, but I'm like, no, it's fine, it's perfect. It's
right.
It's perfect.
And I think they did a really great job of like showing Spider-Man / Peter Parker as those different personas. Like when you first get introduced to Peter Parker, he's a poor kid, he's a dumpster diver. He has a very super hot aunt. That's new.
That's Peter
I'm
Parker.
not complaining, but
the hot aunt thing.
But we basically got a great origin story without a whole 2-hour movie.
It was an exact summary of what Spider-Man needed to be. Like, the minute Robert Downey Jr. said, "Why do you do what you do?" It was like, all right, and he had a perfect answer for it.
I mean, that line, the whole of when you have powers like mine, and then the bad things happen, they happen because of you. That right there just sums up Spider-Man.
If you don't do anything.
That says Uncle Ben right there.
Yeah.
Right.
That's Uncle Ben right there.
And it's nice to see Spider-Man not crying. You know what I mean? Like, we've had 5
He
Spider-Man
probably
movies.
cried when it happened, but like.
I cried when he went home. He got his ass kicked by Captain America.
The moment I was won over, looks up to Tony Stark. he completely drops his eye contact, looks down, and just like, this is why, like, I hate that this is what I do because it cost me my uncle.
Right.
But like he had his tone and like the way he delivered the line, the way he looks down and like looks away from Iron Man, like his idol. He's like he's ashamed that like that this had to happen for him to become Spider-Man.
Right.
And you can tell like just in his voice like how much this guilt drives him, which is such a part about Peter Parker for me, and that's what won me over. Like the fact that he never shut up was the icing on the cake.
Genius.
The fact that like
Genius. And the fact, like, the whole line, like, the whole, hey guys, you seen that really old movie, The Empire Strikes Back? While he's, like, rapping giant man's legs across. Dude, that was such a great line because not only did it show how young this character was, which is what Spider-Man's supposed to be.
Yeah,
He's supposed to be about
a kid,
15, 16-year-old
Supposed to be a
kid.
kid.
The fact that he sees Empire Strikes Back as an old movie is just fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
But the fact that, you know, he was able to use his quirkiness to throw his character off balance, literally and figuratively.
Yes.
And that awesome punch from Iron Man and War Machine, just icing on the cake of that whole scene. Now, I'm going to be honest. I'm really going to be really honest. As much as I love Spider-Man, you guys know me, Spider-Man is my top comic book character of all time.
Sure.
I think that he was very unnecessary for this movie.
No, he was not. He was technically because they got the rights on. It. Yeah.
Right. So basically, Marvel just said like, "Oh, we got the rights, so we have to put him in to show them that hey, he's with us now."
Gotta set up Homecoming.
You gotta set that up, and that's what I was gonna say was that I believe that his setup with Tony Stark, it was great. That like easily that scene with him in his apartment could have easily have been put in Homecoming. Easily. Since Tony Stark, we know he's going to be...
I don't even think this set up Homecoming at all. Like, I think it's just like...
I think it does a good job of setting up the relationship.
Because I'm entirely certain you can watch Homecoming without watching Civil War.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I don't think
Civil War without Spider-Man. It would have been much... It would
the
have been
only
great
scene
movies.
you really need him for was the whole Empire Strikes Back line with him taking out Giant Man.
The whole airport scene was really what you needed him for.
I mean,
they would have found a way.
They
would have found a way to take out Giant Man. Like you could have just written the fact that like
it was a cool way.
That Scott just says like, oh, I can't hold it for long.
Right.
If you didn't have Spider-Man, it would have been fine.
Right. So definitely on that, especially when he's just kind of like, oh, I'm done. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm done. And then it was it. And we didn't see him till
But it's
the
something
after
we wanted. Sony
something that we wanted. I'm glad you did it,
Yes.
Marvel. If anybody has the balls to do it, you did it, and you did a good job about it. All right. Now let's talk about the other character that stole the show. Fucking Black Panther.
Oh yes.
So
right.
good.
Now Spider-Man is my top one. All right. Second favorite is the Flash. Third favorite, freaking Black Panther.
We had the exact same childhood then.
How awesome is this guy? Not only is he a king, he's on par in the smarts department with Tony Stark, Reed Richards. He was the right amount of badass. I mean, we're used to seeing comic relief all throughout these Marvel films.
Yes.
And the fact that he's like this serious character with pretty much a mission throughout this whole thing, because we know that he's not on Iron Man's side because he believes in whatever they're doing. But he has his own agenda, and nobody's gonna get in the way of the agenda. The line where he's fighting Hawkeye, and he's like, "Hey, we haven't met yet. I'm Clint. I don't care." Like
literally, his mission is to avenge his father.
Right.
And he even says it at the end. Like he says like, you've toyed with them. You push them to a point where they're only obsessed with vengeance.
Vengeance is consuming them.
Exactly.
I won't let it consume me. He actually had an arc, which is something I really like.
And that right there, in a Captain America movie where they did focus on Cap quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
They actually had time to build an entire character and set him up for his own movie, and they did it perfectly.
Oh yeah, definitely. I like more the fact that he did have an arc. Like usually when you have all these characters and you're introducing new characters, it's a lot of baggage to cover. So when they introduced Black Panther, the fact that he actually had a story behind what he was doing, and by the end of it, I think that Chadwick Boseman may be one of the best actors in this troupe now, because that scene where he's with Zemo and he says, "Vengeance is consuming them. It consumed me. I'm done letting it consume me. Like I'm done." And that's when you realize like how honorable this guy was, how he had a moral code, and that he was just not this character who was one-dimensional and just wanted to kill Bucky.
Mm-hmm.
So Black Panther, super thumbs up. Chadwick Boseman, we're super excited for the Black Panther movie.
Yes.
And please respond to my tweets.
And then, by the way, that was Marvel's response to Batman. That's basically Marvel's Batman is now Black Panther.
What?
How's that?
Yeah.
What?
It's got a sad background story. He makes his own stuff.
Black Panther is
And
sometimes
he's a
referred to
martial
as
artist. Did you not see the
Batman
fighting
in Marvel
scene? That
movies.
dude's got
He
some
does.
nice
You're
big-
like just because they have similarities doesn't mean there's like they're driven by completely different things.
Batman.
And literally what Julian just said was that Black Panther gets over his idea for vengeance, where Batman is driven by the fact that he can never get over the fact that his parents were killed. that is such a core separation of Bruce
One parent
and
versus
T'Challa.
two parents.
Yeah.
It took one parent,
and not
it
just
took
that,
two
like,
parents for Batman to be like, I
such
gotta
a
find
core
myself.
part about T'Challa is the fact that he's rules a country. He has a moral responsibility to take care of a people's. Where Batman is, he puts it on himself.
I think we're getting more into comic book
It's
territory.
like-
I was just gonna say,
We have to go all day on
origin
this.
story here.
These guys have a Venn diagram and they match up in some areas.
They're gonna leave us out.
Like,
We have two similarities.
Yeah.
They're alike. They're just like.
they wear black. These
All right.
guys are.
One of the few things they don't have in common is one is in a good movie, one's in a bad movie. Yeah, that's pretty much.
Pretty much. All right, so
But they're
now
both in really great trailers.
Batman v Superman being the 2-hour-long trailer.
Oh my God. We're not gonna back.
Hey, that was the best trailer I've ever seen ever. All right, so now we're gonna go down the line and we're gonna pick our favorite moment in that movie. Starting with Emilio, what did you think?
My favorite, of course, was the airport fight scene, and I really feel like if you don't choose that scene in the movie, you're gonna talk a lot about why it wasn't the airport fight scene.
I mean, that's the one we're gonna be
Like,
talking about for a
long
long
time,
time to
like-
come. And you know what the special thing about this airport scene is that about 5-10 years from now, it's going to be commonplace for all these superhero movies. They're always going to have now this big
Visual
this big
spectacular.
visual
It's set
spectacular
the
with
bar.
multiple heroes.
It's set
But this
the
is
bar.
the first time that it's been done. Just like the first
Well,
Avengers,
okay,
first time
yeah.
we saw them get together. This is the first time that something of this magnitude has been done in this
Yeah.
scene, and it was really. It wasn't like I said in my spoiler-free review, that it wasn't like quick cut here, quick cut there, where everything like it kind of tricks you
And I
into
remember
thinking
watching
that it's a
and I
great
was
action
like,
scene.
yes, exactly.
Right, it's like not like Transformers does, where you just see these robots that kind of look alike.
God,
and you
those
just see
scenes are such a mess.
they're so all over
The
the
fight
place.
scenes are so close to their bodies, you can't tell who's winning.
What is
It's like,
what
you're
is going on?
It's like, hey, let's see over here where Captain America's at. Then over here you see Black Widow and Hawkeye. Then over here you got Winter Soldier and Black Panther.
The transitions were so smooth too. Like Wanda would like save someone for something, like, and then she'll save Clint and pull Panther, and then it'll cut to where like Panther fell,
Yeah,
and then like whatever was going on in that area, like it was just so smooth.
yeah.
Like when Red Wing pulls Spider-Man out of the
Oh, that was great.
out of the terminal,
That was great.
it doesn't just like goes directly to outside. It goes to like somewhere similar to that. Like
Right.
it's like the opening of Avengers 1
Mm-hmm.
when like Nick Fury's talking to Steve about like the Tesseract, and Steve's like, you should have left it in the water, and it cuts to Iron Man in the water. Like there was those kind of smooth transitions
Yeah.
connect each like segment to the next one, and that's kind of what made this entire sequence seamless.
Well, that's just great storytelling.
Yeah, that's
right there.
that's great directing by the Russo brothers.
Oh, these guys are
Mad
bosses.
props to
and
these guys.
I don't give a hell what they do after this. I'm watching it. Like,
Yeah,
Infinity War is gonna be in my.
See, they
Infinity War is
always
gonna be-
should though, dude.
You should go back to watch their episodes of Community, which are brilliant.
I need to get on
They
that.
did the
I mean,
D&D
I'll watch
episode
any
of Community.
dude. If they shot a porno with porcupines, I will watch it. Like that would be that would be pretty good. Hashtag porcupine porn, guys. Let's get it going.
I
John,
don't
what you
want
got
to
next?
I'm gonna mix it up. Everybody's favorite scene was and will be the airport scene, but other than that, every scene with Cap and Sharon. I'm a huge Captain America guy. I really am, and it was nice to see. Yes. It was nice to see Cap finally progress as a man, and get some game,
Right.
and actually like a girl that's his age per se. Like,
If I'm correct, he's like a 9-year-old version.
Yeah.
yes,
right?
but he's acting his age, but he's older, which sucks.
Right.
When you get him with a
Right.
young girl, yes, it's kind of weird. It's Peggy's
niece. It's her great niece or niece.
Her regular niece.
Yeah.
Regular niece.
She's okay.
Comic book
Peggy's
niece
like,
where
this
it
is my
doesn't
okay
matter.
niece. We're introducing her.
They're related.
Yes. And that funeral scene had one of the best speeches in all comics. That's
Yeah.
actually the speech that Sharon said was something Captain America said in the
To
comic.
Spider-Man in
Yeah.
the comic books.
Yes, it
That
was
was
one of the
actually
best speeches.
One of my favorite scenes.
And
It was great how they
It's a
translated
iconic
that
scene.
onto the screen as well.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
like
it
that
wasn't
they
like
cut
it wasn't like a word for word account of it because we all know the speech is a
Yeah.
lot longer
Yeah.
than that. But it was the straight down to the point, the important parts of it,
Yes.
to where Captain America can look at that, and that's where you saw why he had to stand his ground.
yes.
And I think the problem with going into this movie is that people who were not familiar with it, they thought that they're fighting because of Bucky.
Yes.
And that, it was like a bromance breakup type thing, when it was a lot more than that. The plot was actually a lot more
Oh yeah, when I
deeper
first
than
seen the
what they
first
said.
trailer, I was mad. I was like, why is Captain just fighting for Bucky? Like that doesn't make don't make a civil war over just your friend. Like,
Right.
if he did some shit.
Right.
And the last thing I'll say is it was nice to see Cap get to the emotional side where he's all I have left. Like
Yeah.
Peggy's dead.
Everybody
else
in
is
the past
dead.
is dead. Yeah.
Like literally in that scene where he goes, they're talking about the girls they used to date.
yeah.
She's gonna be 100 years old, man.
Dots.
So are we, but like,
No,
that was
nice
a
to
great
see
moment.
that. It
That
was
was a
like to
great
see
moment.
that.
Somebody pointed out to me that Dots is. I don't know if you guys watch
Agent Carter.
Oh,
Agent Carter.
Holy
Yes.
crap!
But
I didn't realize.
that was mine. Yes.
Yeah, it was
Yes.
this guy. This
Yeah.
guy told me that. I was
Yeah.
like, what the fuck?
That's
They
right.
tied
I
it.
forgot
They
about
tied
that.
it. That was good. That was really
That was
good.
fucking insane. Like, it blew my mind.
this is a Captain America movie, and we're
First
talking
and
about
foremost.
everybody else. That's what I like to separate from that. This was actually a really good
Captain
emotional story
America
for Cap.
Yes. Now, favorite part, Donnie.
Oh man, there's so many,
Your Highness.
and I mean, like Neil said, it's hard to pick a favorite scene and not talk about why the airport's like, not compared to the airport scene.
Try something.
My favorite scene though, like when I really think about it, is the end when Iron Man finds out that Bucky killed his
Oh my
parents.
god.
That right there, 'cause
That hit
I was not
hard.
Team Iron Man up until that point,
Oh my god.
and these guys will disagree with me
I
because
was
I
still
don't
Team
agree.
No, I
Captain.
flip-flopped.
I was-
I can't.
but-
I was still
I
Team
lied.
Cap, but I understood. You
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
I understood. Like, who else was in the theater? Like, honestly, like, if you said that you saw that scene coming, you're full of shit. Like,
Yeah,
if you
no,
said,
no,
because like,
nobody's
how
seen
can you
it.
put together the pieces of the road and Bucky killing somebody? Because they clearly showed that at first that was just to get the super serum from the trunk.
Yeah.
But unless you knew what car that his parents drove at that moment, which is impossible to know, you didn't know it was coming.
You
And that was an ugly
So-
car. You think that
You
the
have to
Starks
watch
would drive
Avengers 2.
something
Avengers
better?
2 had that newspaper, the same newspaper. Like, you literally had to
Right.
known every
Why are you
scene
flirting
along.
with the camera.
I'm
Right.
just like acting out things.
But like, who else? Like,
This the whole
who
time.
else in that scene when Zemo showed the camera on the video, and you see Tony go, "Hey, I know this road. What is this?"
And
I
then
would.
you're like,
I just was like,
Oh, yeah, like
No.
that. That
You
put
remember-
everything.
like
into
honestly, my
perspective.
mouth dropped at that moment. Like, and it's rare that you get surprises like that in movies. Period.
Especially
You don't get it
Marvel
anymore.
movies.
Yeah,
you don't
usually-
get Marvel movies.
Like usually, especially Marvel movies, because like the thing with superhero movies and any type of movie these days is that they show the whole movie in the trailer, and they really did a good job of, everybody knows that Marvel's very secretive when it comes to this type of stuff. When the trailer comes out, we feel like we've seen the whole thing.
Because you know the comics.
But-
The comics give you a general idea of what the story
Right.
is. This
To
comic
make
you
the-
cannot put into the movie because of stupid
Right.
Fox and Sony owning everything. But we didn't know what to expect other than
Exactly.
we got 6 on 6
And-
for 6.
You see, that right there, that is why I loved it even more, because it was like, oh man, I seen all the trailers. I didn't want to see them, but
Right.
you have to.
Right.
And then when you get a big reveal like that,
Oh my
you're just
gosh.
like,
And it was great to just be in the movie because
Yes.
like that was the moment that really made you kind of see Iron Man's side, which the movie does really well. Like you can go in Team Cap, you can go in Team Iron Man, but once that movie gets going, you have
You
no
pick.
idea whose side you really want to
You
choose.
can't.
And in that scene, I was honestly going like, I understand, because on the one hand, he saw his mother get choked out.
see, he even says it too. Tony says it. He's like, I don't care. He killed
my mom.
You
And-
killed my mom. It's over.
You know,
done.
They,
That's a different side of
that's
Cap.
another side.
Cap,
Because
you saw Cap's face,
lied,
was like, like Cap
And-
actually changed a little heart. Like,
You
he
know-
changed his character a wee bit.
And I want to get to that in a second, but it's the fact that during the trailers, we kept seeing the scene where he says, I wouldn't do this if I had no choice, but he's my friend. And then it broke all of our hearts when Iron Man says, well, so was I. I thought, since I saw that already, it wasn't going to have its impact, but they one-upped it with the whole, I don't care, he killed my mom line.
And
that
they
hurt
changed
me
that scene,
more.
too. They didn't have the I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Tony.
And that right there-
They switched it.
See, and that right there, that's what made the end of the movie so tough for me, because I'm diehard Team Cap, but when I seen the the mom dad dying, Bucky did it, and then you got that like fight at the end. Everything is just like it just gets emotional, and
Right.
when he says it, it's not like he said it in a commercial. It wasn't like, I'm sorry, Tony.
Right.
I wouldn't do this if I had any other choice, but he's my friend. And Tony's like kind of sad. He's like, so was I. In the actual movie, he's pissed off.
He was like,
He's
oh, so was I.
so
It was
was I.
misleading. It was a red
Yeah.
herring for that.
Yes.
Yeah. So like from that point on, that's pretty much my favorite. And then
Now-
you have the classic Civil War shot.
Oh,
Yes,
yes.
yes.
That was a
What was your
good
favorite
sad
win?
moment.
What was your favorite scene?
My favorite
Us.
scene now, this is kind of cheating because one of my favorite scenes was the highway run.
I love the highway.
That was
scene,
really
yeah.
great because we got to see how Black Panther's power set worked. In case you didn't know how Black Panther operated,
He says fuck
But-
bullets.
But something that like keeps sticking in my mind is just kind of like the smaller moments, and I actually picked two, and these are actually character moments. One of which is when Captain America and Spider-Man are doing their little showdown, and when Spider-Man's like holding up like the runway for the plane, and he says, "You got a heart, kid. Where are you from?" He's like, "Queens." While his legs are like kind of quivering, like Queens, and he goes, huh. Brooklyn. I like honestly smiled so hard at that because like it felt so real, like just a genuine moment. And then my second favorite moment is when they're in the car with Black Panther after they get arrested, and the whole this right here.
Respect.
I know we gave Black Panther a lot of love, but this right here basically will tell you everything you need to know about Black Panther. Is when he says the Black Panther was the top warrior, something along the lines of that, top warrior in Wakanda for generations. And because of your friend, I now wear the mantle of king. So now I ask you, as warrior and king, how much longer do you think you can keep your friend safe from me? I was in the theater like, oh no! Everything I needed to. I was Team Black Panther on that because I'm always
that's a
Team
midnight
Black Panther.
premiere movie. That's
But,
a midnight.
Dude, 2018 can't get here fast enough.
It can't.
really
And the
can't.
cast for that
can't.
movie, by the way, they're casting some great people on it. They
Oh,
got Michael B. Jordan
Jordan,
as the villain.
Lupita
Like,
Nyong'o.
what?
Ooh, that's another video for another time.
Great direction Marvel is going. Like,
All right, so this movie isn't without flaws, right?
Of course,
So
of
every
course.
movie does have flaws. This movie unfortunately does have some. It's a great movie, but let's talk about what exactly did not work for us.
biggest flaw of this movie is it ended.
It's what?
You know,
biggest
Kevin
flaw of
Smith
the
said that on movie fights too. Kevin Smith said the exact same thing. Look, he doesn't watch movie fights, guys. So
I know. I swear to God, I
yes,
know. But
so
that's,
tweet me back too because you saw it here.
that's the biggest flaw of the movie, right?
You know, what do you think? Because I know, because you're not like a
I
real. I know you read comic books, but you're not a purist like most people.
Yeah,
are.
I
Like,
can.
you can separate.
I can be a critic about this. I can be properly
Right.
critical about the flaws. Overcritical is picking at things because and not acknowledging that the fact that they're little. This was a fantastic movie. It's probably Marvel's. I haven't decided yet if I liked it more than Winter Soldier. Anyway,
Right.
Same.
Earlier I was okay with the 90, and I was like, because I know exactly where that 10% that they missed out went. A lot of it, character-wise, was entirely perfect. I think. I don't think I had any flaws with the characters. Like everyone was represented in the way that they were they needed.
Everybody
to be.
has a great reason for being there.
Or not just if this is a Captain America movie, he gets the most character, and which is exactly and then followed by Bucky, then Iron Man. And then Black Panther as a really ancillary, really optional character for the movie. He was not required to propel the plot forward. They made him interesting, and they didn't make him overcrowded, and they didn't take too much away from him.
Right.
They let him represent oh hey, we can have this other art going and not steal the spotlight.
Right.
Give you something to look at so that the other stories have room to breathe. That way you don't get overcrowded by having Cap command the movie.
Right.
Which
Great
was
Captain America movie with great supporting characters.
yeah, it was exactly what a supporting character should have been.
Right.
So the character the tone flipped a lot, and that should dock the movie a lot of points.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't because they gave every character had a reason to be totally different from the rest of it.
Right.
Like Cap is really somber, but Ant-Man and Spider-Man are really funny, which is
I said talk about what you didn't like, Leo.
I'm actually.
I was in rapture.
I have to qualify this
Yeah.
because when I say negative things,
Yeah, it's hard
people
to
are
pick
gonna
apart,
think that I didn't like it. So I need to open up with this. When writing dialogue for a character, there has to be a reason this character is saying that line, and not anyone else is saying this.
Mm-hmm.
And except usually where a lot of directors and writers cheat with this is in exposition, where you need to move the plot forward because of whatever thing. And the few give a reason why someone's here, and the exposition lines that they had, one of the biggest ones was the one that Julian just said with Black Panther, and it was delivered so well that even though it was exposition and one of my favorite pieces of exposition in movies period is in the 2009 Star Trek when Kirk got beamed onto the Enterprise and he's talking about how he found out that the Romulans are here and they're gonna kill everybody and and that could have been a very direct scene. He's like, hey guys, this is what's up. But what J.J. Abrams did in that movie was he gave Kirk an allergic reaction. So they're moving all over the Enterprise.
Yeah.
And it's
an
hilarious.
entertaining scene.
Yeah, it's a really entertaining scene and the actions have nothing to do with it.
One of two Star Trek movies that I actually like.
Anyway, back to Civil War. The little exhibitions that they had, they did it in such a concise way that it never got overdrawn. It wasn't like the Star Wars prequels, which had so much, which were primarily exposition.
Yeah.
And
council meetings all over.
Yeah, and it's the worst thing. And this movie, which could have been a very legal movie with the Accords,
Oh yeah.
they managed to avoid that by making the dialogue very strong.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and back to your original question, so future Joy, you can cut to here. My biggest problem with the movie is that Zemo's plan, it was very
convenient.
No, like not just convenient, but it was. There's a lot of reasons that if without the involvement of like some kind of higher being, that any of that should have worked. Yeah. Like Zemo had no, there's no way he could have counted on the Accords going through. How could he, like, he's a citizen in Sokovia. How does he find out that the Winter Soldier even exists?
Some can say that he just, like, because remember, he said he was very patient.
Yeah.
And some can make the argument that he kind of, like, seized an opportunity of the Accords.
Yeah.
Now, I do agree with you. Like, Zemo's, like, whole plan, to me, it kind of, like, it all could have happened by itself. Like, if you would have taken him out of the movie, you didn't really need it. And he definitely is the weakest part because once the scenes get to him, everything becomes kind of, like, less interesting. Yeah. Until he gives that speech where Black Panther is, like, looking at him on the cliffside.
Well, he did explain that he found the Black Widow put all the stuff out, remember?
Yeah.
So there was a little bit of backstory into what made him look like mad about the Avengers.
But what I was going to say was, like, how exactly did he know that Captain America and Winter Soldier were going to be in Siberia? How did he know that Tony Stark was going to find out from Falcon that he was in Siberia?
Iron Man didn't even know he was going to be there.
How did he know that all these characters were going to be there so that you can show this video? Because your whole plan essentially hinged on the fact of showing Iron Man this video.
Yeah.
Now, Iron Man didn't know.
He did set it up to the point by leaving the guy's dead body in the hotel room. He did set it up to the point where they knew that he was a fake doctor. So he probably figured.
But Iron Man didn't know
he was going to go there until he talked to Falcon in the prison.
Iron Man didn't even know he was going to
General Ross working for Hydra. I don't know.
So you basically predicted Iron Man's movements before Iron Man would have did it himself.
And I'm like, no, that's completely,
it's like that's
entirely unbelievable.
It's very unbelievable. But at the same time, like a lot of people don't like Zemo. I don't like his plan. But I do like his character. He's definitely one of the more complex characters we've gotten as a Marvel villain.
As far as villains,
But
that doesn't mean he's a good villain.
But it doesn't mean he's a good villain because his plan is cockamamie boo boo. And like I do like the fact that he's basically a representation of the people that the Avengers have killed, like the innocent families.
Yeah.
Like I'm glad that literally came back to bite them in the butt in the form of Zemo because he's not the most powerful guy. He's one of the smartest guys. But like I said, the plan is just so dopey and dumb.
Like, I would have loved if he was part of the decision-making process to put the Accords into effect. Mm-hmm. If he was like some kind of diplomat that was out of Sokovia at the time because he was taking care of something else related to the UN, and then he's the one that proposes this idea.
If he was the one to propose the Sokovia Accords, that would have been so much better.
That makes me feel like, oh, okay, so he's been trying to get the Avengers split up forever.
Yeah.
That, and then he goes the next extra step to find out that. And because he gets lucky that Bucky killed Tony Stark's parents.
Oh yeah.
There's no way that he could have known that. He's
that was fate.
Yeah,
that was fate.
If Bucky had never done that mission never occurred, then his plan would have completely faltered. I did open this up with saying that it's a fantastic movie, but like that's a problem that I have with it. Right. And that leads into my second problem, was that it feels like they didn't know if they were going to get Robert Downey Jr. when they started writing this movie.
Yeah.
Like this movie could have been entirely the Bucky Cap story
without
the Civil War part, and instead of the extra Winter Soldiers dying at the end, that's the bad guy,
and that's what I really because the Winter Soldiers, they had a whole flashback. They stopped the movie to show this flashback of these Winter Soldiers, and then once they're dead, you're just kind of like,
I forgot that flashback was there. Really,
you saw these badass assassins, and you're thinking like, oh, this is a real threat, that Captain America, Winter Soldier, and I guess it works for their characters' motivation to get where they need to go. But once you kill them off like that, it's just kind of like, I feel like about maybe like a 3% of the movie was kind of wasted with that scene. Because now when I watch that scene, I'll just go like, well, these guys really don't matter. It's kind of like having it both ways. It does a good job of propelling the plot forward, but in terms of like, do you really need it?
But
could you try something else?
If you took him out of the movie,
you can't take Zemo out. Zemo is more important than Iron Man.
To where Iron Man, Cap, and Bucky were there by themselves.
Right. I mean, when you find out about those guys, I was genuinely afraid because Winter Soldier is a badass mother effer. All right.
Yes. And when he's a more interesting villain.
And he is. He is one of the better villains. And people sadly forget about him in the pantheon of bad villains. But it's when he says like, "Oh, are there guys who are just like you?" And he says worse because remember he gets his butt kicked by those guys, and there's like 5 of them.
And he probably got out of there alive.
So
I'm pretty sure that Natasha Romanoff is one of them.
A Winter Soldier?
I think she's a Winter
They
Soldier.
already gave her backstory. That would be really interesting, but they can't. They
Right.
already gave her
Plus,
backstory.
it doesn't. I don't think it involves brainwashing.
It would have been really cool to find out that Tasha would have been one of those.
That would have been.
I'm entirely open to the fact that like they are different branches of the KGB spies, and they would have had a history together, but they weren't in the same program. Nat's in the Black Widow program, Bucky's in the Winter Soldier program.
Too, in the Winter Soldier, remember she got shot by him a while back.
Yeah,
She got shot
That's
by
why
him in
he
the past.
got on top of her.
Yeah.
You could at least say, you could at least remember me.
Yeah,
Because
like
they ran into
that
each other a
history.
couple times. They have like intertwining like stories.
the last major one I have is that Tony's glasses in the beginning, the one that he shows to MIT, could be used to fix Bucky.
I thought that was a good
It's literally I feel like it was a plot hole that very few people noticed, and if they didn't have this like big fight with the Civil War thing, and if they addressed it like adults and like which would make it a much less interesting movie. So I'm not like gonna kill him for this, but like at the end before Zemo shows him the video, and Iron Man understands the situation what Bucky's going through. He created a thing that can exactly fix this.
Oh,
like
the neuro.
yeah,
thing, the neuro
it's
thing?
made to help push people get over trauma,
Yeah.
which would have helped deprogram Bucky.
Yeah, but if think about this, because like I've actually thought about that too, because I said like, well, he specifically works in the brain department in that area. But when you really think about this, where Bucky really isn't Iron Man's main concern. His main concern is pushing the Sokovia Accords through.
Yeah.
Because remember, like up until let's say the actual air hanger fight, he has no quarrel with Bucky whatsoever.
No.
He has no quarrel in the Winter Soldier. He has no quarrel in this. He doesn't have a quarrel with Bucky until he's tasked to bring in Captain America and his whole team in, and he doesn't even have a real beef with them until he finds out the Winter Soldier actually killed his mom.
Yeah, like
So he's not really like, I guess if him and Bucky were like kind of plus Captain America and Falcon were on their own mission. They didn't really tell anybody what they were doing.
Yeah.
So it's reason to believe that Iron Man didn't know either. But it wasn't until the whole scene where he finds out that he killed his mom. Now, there's two ways he could have went. He could have said, "Oh, I can actually help you because I know you were brainwashed." But you gotta remember, he killed his mom.
Yeah.
So by way of insanity, this guy like snapped. So he's not thinking about saving this guy. He's thinking about murdering.
with his dad. He
yeah,
always
like I said, like the
talked
point
about
to
his
have done it would have been before Iron Man sees the video.
See, Iron Man wasn't listening to Cap. They didn't he was so focused on just bringing him in.
Up
He didn't
until
He was
the
thinking like this the
video,
whole time.
up until
just
he
like-
watched the thing, Iron Man was entirely ready to be on Cap's side.
Yeah.
To figure out what they were
And Cap was
investigating.
ready.
That's exactly why he
and
went
Cap
to
was ready
Siberia.
too.
Because he wanted to help Steve. He was off the books. He deliberately did not let Ross know that he was going there because he wanted to help Steve.
Yeah.
Like
With those.
Okay, but
super
before the
soldiers
fight, he
and
was
everything.
completely focused with just bringing Barnes in.
bringing anyone that didn't
Bringing
sign
anyone who didn't sign the
Accords
Accords in.
And
Not just
that's,
Barnes.
like-
That was Black Panther's MO.
No, he
That was Black
said
Panther's
it.
MO.
He said it.
Yeah, he said
give up
you,
Barnes
Steve,
and
and
No,
himself.
because what's his
It's-
name?
this
Ross
is very
said it.
s-
He said Barnes, Steve, Wilson.
This
That's
is
what he
very,
said. And then he finds out that holy shit, Wanda's out. Holy shit, Ant-Man's here. Who the hell is Ant-Man? Who are you again? That was funny to say. But yeah, he finds out that all these other guys are actually. He didn't realize that even Hawkeye was into it until like later on. That's why he says, "How could you drag Clint into this?" Like he didn't know. His main thing was these
Like,
three names.
Iron Man
And-
was doing the best to what he believed was right, which is exactly what Captain America was doing.
So we're gonna make
Go
two
ahead.
more points and then we're gonna wrap this up. Okay.
Thematically it fits because the entire movie's theme is about consequences and vengeance, the consequences of your action, like what you do and how you deal with what follows. Okay? So that fit, but then it changed Iron Man from having an arc with trying to do right by his past to being an accent on Bucky's arc and his consequences for killing Tony's parents.
I think
And,
they
like,
did that really well
you know,
because
it's-
it was like I don't think it was him flipping. I think like
Just add on to
by him being on this particular side, like you said, it's driven by all these emotions that he's feeling. You know, the
Yes.
woman, the pepper,
Yeah.
the everything, and when he sees his parents get, he wasn't expecting this.
No, he wasn't.
You know,
And,
he
like,
wasn't. And when you see that, like, it doesn't matter, like,
That's
whatever you were thinking, all that goes out the window.
when Bucky and Zemo and that whole story is the A story, and the Accords are the B story. They moved Iron Man from a lead role in the B story to a supporting role villain in the A story. I didn't like the fact that because when that happens, that makes the entire B story with the Accords meaningless up until here. Like we didn't have to deal with any of that to get to this point.
Well,
And that's my biggest problem with the movie.
Well, they do move
Or not
the
the big,
Accords.
like,
They do move the Accords aside, but the reason why they do that is because they
Because
have most of the
the
Avengers.
A story
They
and
have
B
the
story with the flip.
Well, yeah, you have to bring like when it comes to movies, you always have to bring these stories together.
Yeah.
And the way they did that was they put most of the Avengers in the prison, and then Iron Man realizes there's something bigger at play, so that's why he goes to help Cap.
Yeah.
And he does it under the nose of Ross because he knows that he's still on this separate side.
But Ross wouldn't let him go either.
Ross wouldn't let him go.
So,
Ross had no idea.
And that's
he was
when he
there.
started realizing, oh shoot, Cap is right. Because Cap even said, what if they tell us? What if we can't go somewhere we need to go?
Right.
Like, what are we gonna do?
And at the end of the day, they're both still on these separate sides because
yeah, the war's not over.
Because it's like they were separated,
Yeah,
and then they came back together. And the fact that this was the nail in the coffin, because this whole thing was on shaky ground. These two teams going against each other. But the minute they come back together to fight a larger threat, what is the nail in the coffin that's going to split them in half again? And the nail in the coffin was that video for Iron Man.
Yeah.
And then by the end of it, and this is going to lead into the last question, one of the last questions. Where do you think, given the current state of the Avengers right now, with Cap's new Avengers in Wakanda and Iron Man just basically left with only Vision and Spider-Man as like the new, and War Machine at a paralyzed
Well,
War
like
Machine.
War Machine gets like super hurt to the point where he's like
Oh,
dependent
yeah.
on the suit in the comics to
Right.
live. So like I feel like they're just going in that direction where he's not going to be.
That,
able to
I would
suit.
love to see
And
that.
that'd be interesting.
But given like these two fragments of Avengers, like where do you think that's gonna take the Avengers in the next few movies, and like where does that leave them at the beginning of the Infinity War?
Well, you gotta look at the timeline. Next year, we're getting Spider-Man, we're getting Guardians 2,
Right.
and Thor 3.
Like we're taking a big right turn.
No one's going to be in Earth actually.
Yeah, yeah.
For the next like 2 years, right?
We're taking like
Spider-Man.
We
We're-
won't know until we see Thor 3, because if you look at the movie, Cap is still a villain.
Yeah.
Cap is in Wakanda.
On the run.
He snuck everybody out, so he's still a criminal.
Like, but they're still super buddies because he left him the phone.
No, but to the government's eyes,
yeah, he's still a bitch.
see,
He's
because
an
Ross,
insurgent.
Ross, that's one thing I like about the movie. Ross played a big part of it.
Yeah.
Ross, no, he should stick to the Hulk storyline and all that Red Hulk
Oh,
stuff.
no, I enjoyed General Ross.
I
It was
like
nice
Ross.
seeing
I like
him,
Ross.
but they
Well,
could
he could have been
have
done
done
for
somebody
anybody,
else for
though.
that.
It was
role.
not.
You can tell he still is looking
Because
for
that
the Hulk.
teased us for wanting Hulk stuff, which
Right.
we can't have. But Cap's still a villain per se, and then the Avengers have to get together at some point and fight Thanos. Is Doctor Strange going to be like the tool that brings everybody back together? Because
I'm pretty sure the next couple of movies are gonna pretty much focus, except for Spider-Man, they're gonna focus on introducing the last two Infinity Stones.
Yeah.
With Doctor Strange, with Ragnarok, and
What I'm thinking is that we're gonna take such a big right turn with these other movies, because these other movies are essentially like standalone movies.
Yeah.
Maybe since like Captain America and the Winter Soldier are stationed in Wakanda, maybe we'll see a little glimpse of them in Black Panther. Maybe not. I would prefer not. So
Yes.
Black
I
Panther
would
can
like
stand
Winter-
on his own.
I would like the Winter Soldier to be a part of it.
That would be neat. But like I
Adamantium
said,
arm.
they said it's gonna be 90% African or African American. So we'll wait for that.
New vibranium arm for Bucky.
oh,
that would
Vibranium.
be-
I forgot we can't say
Yeah.
adamantium.
That would be great. By the time Infinity War goes around, and the Russo brothers said that the way it's going to be set up is that it's going to be but from different perspectives of everyone that we've seen. in
Are the
Marvel
Russos
universe.
doing Infinity?
They are.
Yes.
So
Oh, there is a
yeah.
guy.
The flip phone. The flip phone's going to be the key. It sounds. That phone is going to set everything up because, like you said,
Oh, yeah.
if you ever need me, Cap's not. We're not going
That's
to
a
see
great
Captain
ending.
America until Infinity War.
Hey,
I'm
he's no
pretty much-
longer Captain America because he dropped the shield.
Yeah.
That was one of the best parts of the
Yeah.
movie.
You can probably
You
get a
don't
new
deserve
one.
that shield. My father, he's just like, all right.
Hey, he's in
Oh,
Wakanda. They can make another one.
We usually mean after credit scenes.
Mhm.
We're not going to see that like the Loki scene with Cap and Thor 2, but we're going to see Captain America probably maybe. Look at the timeline here. We probably won't see him until maybe he'll be in Spider-Man, maybe somehow.
No.
I think
Or
it'll be.
Thor.
I think it would be smart if they
Thor.
brought him back for Infinity War to lead all these.
It'd be
heroes
like a
against
surprise,
Thanos.
like holy shit, we're getting our ass kicked.
Where does Civil War rank in terms of your favorite top three? Where does Civil War rank in terms of your favorite Marvel movie?
Are we counting just cinematic universe?
Let's say Marvel movie period.
Marvel?
It
period?
goes by-
That includes Blade,
Oh,
all them. Maybe
I'll even go one up and we'll say superhero movie.
I think I'm gonna put it in between. It's gonna be my number two in between Dragon Ball, Evolution, and Spider-Man 3.
Dark
No, I'm
Knight?
totally kidding. I'm totally
What?
kidding.
Mio was over here about to slap me.
Yeah, I was.
My favorite superhero movie, I'll go first. In all honesty, my favorite superhero movie still to this day is Captain America 2.
I was thinking
Because that
Okay.
storyline where Cap
That's
actually
true.
sees Bucky for the first time, it's like wow, and he has to like
Yeah.
convince everybody he's still a good person.
Yeah.
It's still my favorite, personal favorite. It would be number 2, and then Avengers would be number 3.
Okay.
Because that's the first time we ever got anything close to
Right.
like a Justice League kind of feeling.
Definitely
Yes,
Spider-Man 2,
favorite,
number
yeah.
1 for me.
Dark Knight.
Cap
Put Dark
2
Knight way lower.
would definitely be. See, the Dark Knight is really hard for me to put in even my top 5 because it's more of a great villain movie than a great superhero movie to me.
I'm gonna say mine right now. My top 3, starting with number 3, The Dark Knight. Even though I think that is the best superhero movie ever made.
It is
Really?
the best.
Is the best
It's
superhero
the-
movie
It
ever
could be
made.
a
I call
personal
that
favorite. It
I
could be
call
a
that
personal
the
favorite.
Godfather of superhero movies. And then my 2 is Captain America: Civil War. I'm gonna say that.
You're gonna put
I'm gonna put Captain America: Civil War as my number 2 because it's not only were they able to accomplish a lot by putting all these characters into one thing, but they actually made it a great cohesive, thematic, cinematic thing to behold. Now, my favorite of all time superhero film, Spider-Man 2. Not only because Spider-Man is my all-time favorite character, but I think that was them getting the story of Peter Parker just right.
That's so great.
And it's not just a great superhero film, it's a great film, period.
Watchmen.
Really? Dude, the movie's so
Oh,
good.
wait,
It's really so fucking
Watchmen.
So
good.
underrated.
Not
It's
about
so
Watchmen.
underrated.
I changed mine up.
Watch.
It's probably number 6.
Number 6?
I could solidly probably pick 5 above that.
Okay.
Like it's Spider-Man 2, the movie that got me into comic books.
One of the movies that got me into movies.
Avengers 1.
Okay.
Days of Future Past was very good. I love it as a movie.
First
And
Class
I
was so
love
much
I love
better.
watching
You are
McAvoy.
something else.
I love watching McAvoy and Fassbender. They're amazing.
Captain America is definitely the best trilogy,
Yeah,
superhero
it is,
trilogy I've
yeah.
ever seen.
So, guys, that's our spoiler review of Captain America: Civil War. If you have seen it, please comment below. And if it's your first time at this channel, just give it that, tickle that subscribe button, hit the like button. If you're watching this on Facebook, share it. And this is
Emilio from Movie Reviews.
John Smith.
Donnie Stats, Pop Culture Renegades, and Roomy Reviews. Subscribe to both.
Alright guys, if you think I should have more guests on my channel, just let me know. If you want to be a guest on my channel, just give me a comment, drop me something on Twitter. It's at Straw Hat Goofy. That's at straw_hat_goofy. Alright? So, alright guys.
Make sure to hit the underscore there.
Hit that underscore. Make sure you get it. Alright guys, just remember, we're just a bunch of dudes in a room talking to a camera. We love you and we're out.
It's a bigger room this time.